AITA for refusing to watch my friend's favorite show because I thought it was boring, and now he says I'm disrespecting his entire personality? Look, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but I've got limits. My best friend, Leo, is obsessed with this niche sci-fi show called Starpulse Chronicles, and he's been hounding me for months to watch it. He's convinced it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I finally snapped last week when he tried to guilt-trip me into binging it at his place. I told him straight up that I tried the first episode, thought it was dull, and wasn't going to waste my time on it. Now he's acting like I spit on his soul, saying I don't respect who he is. It's just a show, right? Or am I missing something bigger here? I'm Jay, 27, and I work as a graphic designer for a small indie game studio. My life's mostly deadlines, energy drinks, and late-night Discord chats with my crew. Leo's been my ride or die since college, where we bonded over bad cafeteria tacos and a shared love for old-school arcade games. He's a sound engineer for this quirky little podcast network that covers everything from UFO conspiracies to vintage synth reviews. Leo's the kind of guy who owns 6 different lava lamps and names them after Star Trek captains. He's got this infectious enthusiasm that usually makes hanging out a blast, but lately it's been all Starpulse Chronicles all the time. We hang out at this retro arcade bar called Neon Haven, tucked in the basement of a strip mall. It's got flickering CRT screens, claw machines that never work, and a jukebox that's stuck in 1987. The place smells like popcorn and regret, but it's our spot. Leo's always got a pocketful of quarters, and I'm usually sketching pixel art on napkins while we argue about whether Pac-Man or Galaga is the superior classic. That's our vibe: chill, nostalgic, no pressure. Or it was, until Starpulse took over his brain. The show's this low-budget sci-fi thing that streams on some app called Nebula Core, which looks like it was coded by a high schooler in 2003. Leo's been raving about it since last summer, texting me fan theories at 3 a.m. and sending me memes of the main character, a brooding cyborg named Zychron. He says it's deep and revolutionary, but when I watched the pilot, it was just a bunch of people in shiny jumpsuits arguing about quantum drives in a poorly lit spaceship. I fell asleep 20 minutes in. It all went down last Saturday at Neon Haven. Leo was already 3 cherry slushies deep, his fingers smudged with joystick grime, when he brought up Starpulse again. Dude, you have to give it another shot, he said, leaning across the pinball machine. Episode 3's where it gets wild. There's this twist with the AI overlord. Leo, I'm good, I cut him off, tossing a pretzel in my mouth. I tried it. It's not my thing. His face froze, like I'd just told him I hated his dog. Not your thing? Jay, it's not just a show, it's about identity, man. The whole cyborg angle? It's like, what makes us human? You'd get it if you actually watched. I laughed, thinking he was joking, but his eyes narrowed. I'm serious, he said. You always do this. You brush off stuff I care about like it's nothing. That hit a nerve. Whoa, hold up, I said, setting down my drink. I don't brush you off. I just don't vibe with space soap operas. Why is that a crime? It's not about the show, he snapped, loud enough that the bartender glanced over. It's about you not giving a crap about what matters to me. I watched that dumb zombie game you love, didn't I? Even though it was just gore and jump scares. First, Dead Dawn is a masterpiece, I shot back, half grinning to lighten the mood. Second, I didn't force you to play it. You chose to. I'm not into Starpulse. Can't we just move on? He crossed his arms, his neon green hoodie glowing under the black lights. You don't get it. This show's, like, my thing right now. It's personal. And you're acting like it's trash. I felt my patience thinning. Leo, I'm not saying you're trash. I'm saying I don't care about Zychron's daddy issues or whatever. Why's it gotta be a referendum on our friendship? He scoffed, grabbed his slushie, and muttered, forget it. You wouldn't understand. Then he stormed off to the claw machine, leaving me standing there like an idiot. The next few days were weird. Leo stopped texting me his usual dumb memes, no more Shiba Inu gifs or links to synthwave playlists. I tried hitting him up on Discord, but he left me on read. Then, Wednesday night, I got a long voice message from him. His voice was all shaky, like he'd been stewing for days. Jay, I feel like you don't respect me, he said. Starpulse isn't just a show. It's how I've been processing stuff, my job stress, my anxiety. You dismissing it feels like you're dismissing me. I don't know, man. Maybe we're not as close as I thought. I sat there, staring at my phone, feeling like garbage. I didn't realize the show was that deep for him. But at the same time, I'm annoyed. Why is he putting this all on me? I don't have to like his show to be a good friend, do I? I sent him a text saying I was sorry he felt that way, but that I didn't mean to hurt him. No response. Then yesterday I saw he posted a Starpulse meme in our group chat with our arcade buddies and everyone jumped in with reactions. I stayed quiet, but it stung. Like, is this what it's gonna be now? Me on the outside because I don't stand his cyborg soap opera? I even tried watching another episode last night to see if I missed something, but I zoned out again. It's just not for me. Now I'm stuck. Part of me wants to fake it, binge the show, and pretend I'm into it to smooth things over. But that feels dishonest and I probably resent it. Another part of me thinks Leo's being dramatic. Friendship shouldn't hinge on a TV show, right? I talked to our mutual friend, Tara, who said Leo's been weirdly intense about Starpulse lately, but she also thinks I could have been nicer about shutting him down. Great, so I'm the bad guy? I'm not trying to lose my best friend over this, but I also don't want to be guilted into something I don't care about. Reddit, I'm legit confused here. AITA for refusing to watch Leo's favorite show, or is he blowing this out of proportion? AITA for spoiling the ending of a movie my sister swore she'd never watch, only for her to lose it like I ruined her life? I don't get why this is even a thing. My sister, Mia, has been dodging The Last Ember for years, saying it's too artsy, and she'd rather rewatch her reality TV marathons. Last weekend, we were stuck at a pottery workshop, long story, and I casually mentioned the big twist at the end of the movie. Figured, who cares? She's not gonna watch it. But she flipped out, called me inconsiderate, and now she's giving me the silent treatment. I'm starting to wonder if I'm the jerk here, but it's just a movie, right? Or is there some sibling code I accidentally torched? I'm Alex, 24, and I'm a barista at this cozy coffee shop called Bean Bonanza, where I spend my days perfecting latte art and dodging Karens who think decaf is a personality trait. Mia's 21, a junior in college studying environmental science, and she's basically the opposite of me. Where I'm all about obscure movies and vinyl records, she's glued to her phone, live tweeting Love Island and hoarding TikTok dance videos. We're close, though, despite our differences. Summers growing up were spent building blanket forts and sneaking extra popsicles from the freezer. These days, we mostly bond over takeout and bickering about who gets the AUX cord. The pottery workshop was our mom's idea. She's on this kick to reconnect the family, ever since she joined a mindfulness group that meets in a yurt. So, there we were at Clay and Cabernet, a dimly lit studio that smells like damp earth and Merlot. It's one of those trendy places where you sip wine and pretend you're Picasso with a lump of clay. The instructor, a guy named River with a man bun and a vibe like he's auditioning for a commune, kept saying stuff like, "Feel the clay's energy." Mia and I were just trying not to laugh. The place was packed, mostly with bachelorette parties and couples on awkward first dates. Our wheel was in the corner, next to a shelf of lumpy mugs from past classes. Mia was halfway through her third glass of Pinot, her hands caked in gray sludge, when she started complaining about her roommate's Netflix queue. "She keeps pausing The Last Ember right in the middle," she said, rolling her eyes. Like, just finish it already. I snorted, spinning my sad attempt at a bowl. "You're one to talk. You've been anti-**Ember* since it came out. What was it? Too pretentious for my eyeballs." "Exactly," she said, flicking clay at me. "It's all moody lighting and violins. I'd rather watch paint dry." That's when I should have shut up, but I didn't. The Last Ember is my jam. One of those indie films that sneaks up on you with a gut punch ending. I saw it at a midnight screening last year and cried into my popcorn. So I grinned and said, "You're missing out. The part where Elena burns the letters and you find out she's been dead the whole time? Chef's kiss." Mia froze, her clay blob collapsing under her fingers. "What the hell, Alex?" she snapped. "Why would you tell me that?" I blinked, caught off guard. Because you said you're never watching it? What's the big deal?" "The big deal," she said, her voice sharp enough to cut through the room's chatter, "is that you just spoiled it. I might have changed my mind someday." I laughed. "Bad move. Mia, come on. You've been trashing it for years. You're not gonna wake up tomorrow and decide to stream it." She slammed her clay onto the wheel, sending a chunk flying. "That's not the point. You don't get to decide what I might do." "It's rude, Alex. You always do this. Act like your taste is superior and mine's garbage." That stung. "Whoa, I never said that." I shot back, lowering my voice as River glanced over, probably worried we'd disrupt the clay's energy. I just thought it was harmless. It's not like I spoiled your favorite show. It's the principle, she hissed, wiping her hands on her apron. You didn't even ask. You just assumed I'm too basic to care. I felt my face heat up. Okay, fine, I'm sorry. I didn't think it'd upset you this much. Can we drop it? But she didn't. For the rest of the workshop, she barely spoke, just glared at her lopsided vase like it personally offended her. I tried cracking jokes, offering to help with her glaze, but she brushed me off. By the time we left, the vibe was colder than the kiln. The fallout's been rough. Mia went back to her dorm and hasn't texted me since, which is weird. She usually spams me with memes by Monday. I tried calling her Tuesday night, but it went to voicemail. Then yesterday, I got a passive-aggressive snap from her. A pic of her TV paused on the Last Ember's title screen with the caption, "Thanks a lot." I groaned. Really? She's actually watching it now just to prove a point? I vented to my coworker, Sam, who's seen every blockbuster since 1995. He said I was kind of a jerk for not checking with her first, but he also thinks Mia's overreacting. It's a movie, not a state secret, he said, frothing milk for a cappuccino. But, maybe don't rub it in. Fair, but I'm not the one turning this into World War III. Mom's no help either. She called last night, all zen, and you two need to communicate your truths. I love her, but I'm not unpacking my feelings in a yurt. I did send Mia a text saying I was sorry again and that I'd keep my mouth shut about movies from now on. She replied with a thumbs-up emoji, which is basically her version of "we're not cool yet." Now I'm second-guessing myself. I didn't mean to ruin anything for her, but I genuinely thought she'd never touch that film. Still, the way she's acting like I betrayed her trust makes me wonder if I'm missing something. Maybe it's not about the movie but about me assuming I know her better than I do. Or maybe she's just being dramatic because she's stressed about finals and I was an easy target. Reddit, I'm at a loss. AITA for spoiling The Last Ember when Mia swore she didn't care about it? Or is she making a mountain out of a molehill? AITA for asking my roommate to turn off the TV at night because it was keeping me awake, only for him to call me a control freak who's ruining his vibe? I swear I'm not trying to be that guy, but I need sleep to function. My roommate, Derek, has this habit of leaving the TV blaring until 2 a.m., usually some true crime docuseries with dramatic reenactments that echo through our thin walls. I finally asked him last week if he could shut it off after midnight, and he looked at me like I demanded he give up oxygen. He said I'm being picky and that I need to chill because it's his wind-down ritual. Now things are weird between us, and I'm wondering if I'm the jerk for wanting a quiet night. Is it really so bad to ask for a little consideration, or am I turning into the roommate from hell? I'm Riley, 29, and I work as a freelance copy editor, which means I spend my days wrestling with commas and clients who think "your" and "your" are interchangeable. I'm not exactly a party animal. My ideal evening is a cup of chamomile tea, a sci-fi novel, and my noise-canceling headphones. Derek's the opposite. He's 32, a bartender at this dive called the Rusty Anchor, and he's got the energy of a golden retriever who's just discovered coffee. We met through a mutual friend when I needed a place last year, and he seemed cool, laid back, always down to split a pizza, the kind of guy who'd leave you the last beer in the fridge. We live in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment above a vape shop in a part of town where the streetlights flicker like they're auditioning for a horror flick. The place is cheap, but it's got quirks: creaky floors, a fridge that hums like it's possessed, and walls so thin I can hear Derek's phone notifications from my room. It's not fancy, but we've made it ours. Derek's got his collection of vintage bottle openers pinned to the kitchen corkboard, and I've got a corner shelf stuffed with dog-eared paperbacks. Usually we get along fine. He doesn't care if I leave dishes in the sink for a day, and I don't mind when he blasts his 90s hip-hop playlist while cooking tacos at noon. The TV thing, though? It's been a slow burn. Derek's got this 55-inch monstrosity in the living room, hooked up to every streaming service known to man. He's obsessed with true crime shows, * cold case files, * forensic frontiers, you name it. Every night, he sprawls on the couch, a bowl of popcorn in his lap, and zones out to narrators droning about unsolved mysteries. The sound carries like it's being piped directly into my bedroom. I've tried earplugs, but they just make my ears itch, and my white noise app can't compete with "The suspect fled into the woods at midnight." I've been averaging 5 hours of sleep a night, and my brain feels like it's running on dial-up. Last Tuesday, I hit my limit. I'd spent all day fixing a client's 300-page manual that kept misspelling sustainability, and my eyes were burning. I shuffled into the living room around 11 p.m. where Derek was glued to some show about a missing hiker. The screen flashed with grainy crime scene photos and the narrator was mid-sentence about blood spatter. I rubbed my temples and said, "Hey, man, any chance you could turn that off soon? It's keeping me up." Derek paused the show, popcorn kernel stuck to his shirt, and gave me this look like I'd asked him to shave his beard. "Seriously," he said. "It's not even midnight. This is how I relax after slinging beers all night." "I get that," I said, trying to keep my voice neutral. "But I can hear every word through the wall, and I've got a deadline tomorrow. Maybe headphones?" He laughed, but it wasn't friendly. "Headphones? Riley, come on. You're acting like I'm throwing a rave. It's just the TV. You've never complained before." "That's because I've been gritting my teeth for months," I wanted to say. Instead, I shrugged. "It's been rough lately. I'm not sleeping. Can we just try turning it off after, like, midnight?" He leaned back, arms crossed. "You're being kinda picky, dude. This is my space too. What's next? You gonna tell me I can't eat garlic because it smells?" I blinked, thrown off. "Garlic? Man, I'm just asking for quiet at night. I'm not trying to control your life." "Feels like it," he muttered, hitting play on the remote. The narrator's voice kicked back in, louder than before. "Live a little. Get some better earplugs or something." I stood there, feeling like an idiot in my mismatched socks, then turned and went back to my room. The door didn't even block out the sound of a detective describing tire tracks. Things have been off since then. Derek's not outright ignoring me, but he's short, grabbing his keys without his usual "yo, I'm heading out," or leaving his dishes in the sink, which he knows bugs me. Wednesday night, the TV was on until 1:30 a.m. and I swear it was louder, like he was making a point. I didn't say anything, just shoved a pillow over my head and prayed for unconsciousness. By Friday, I was a zombie, chugging cold brew and missing typos in a client email, which got me a snarky reply about attention to detail. I tried talking to him again yesterday. He was in the kitchen, slicing limes for some cocktail experiment, when I brought it up. "Derek, can we figure out the TV thing? I'm really struggling here." He didn't look up, just kept chopping. "Struggling? Try working a double shift with drunk dudes yelling about football. I need my shows to decompress. You're not the only one with a tough life." "I'm not saying I am," I said, gripping my mug so hard I thought it'd crack. "But sleep's not optional for me. Can we compromise? Like, lower the volume or switch to your phone?" He set the knife down, finally meeting my eyes. "You want compromise? How about you deal with a little noise like a normal person instead of acting like you own the place? I pay rent too. That one hurt." I mumbled something about figuring it out and retreated to my room. Now I'm paranoid I'm coming off as the uptight roommate nobody wants. I texted my friend Clara, who lived with her cousin last year, and she said I'm not wrong to ask, but I probably should have eased into it instead of making it a thing. She also said Derek sounds stubborn, which, yeah, maybe. I'm torn. Part of me wants to let it go. Maybe I can find better earplugs or sleep with a fan on. But another part's pissed. Why's it on me to fix this when he's the one disrupting my life? I checked our lease online last night, half hoping there's a no TVs after midnight clause, but no dice. I even considered buying him wireless headphones as a peace offering, but that feels like rewarding bad behavior, and I'm not made of money. Reddit, I'm losing my mind here. AITA for asking Derek to turn off the TV at night, or am I being the control freak he says I am? AITA for not clapping at my friend's movie premiere because I thought it was a snooze fest, only for him to call me out as a disloyal jerk? Okay, I'm not trying to be a hater, but I've got to be honest. My friend Nico poured his heart into this indie film, Whispers of the Void, and I went to its premiere last weekend to support him. Problem is, the movie was, well, dull. Like, watching paint dry while listening to a lecture on tax law dull. When it ended, everyone else clapped like it was the next Citizen Kane, but I just sat there, hands in my lap. Nico noticed, and now he's acting like I stabbed him in the back, saying I was rude and unsupportive. I feel bad, but am I really the asshole for not faking enthusiasm? Or is he overreacting to my silence? I'm Sam, 26, and I'm a line cook at this gastropub called the Tipsy Turnip, where I spend my nights flipping burgers and dodging grease burns. Nico and I go way back. We met in high school drama club, bonding over our shared hatred of the director's obsession with our town. I'm no actor, but I loved the chaos of backstage, rigging lights and sneaking snacks during rehearsals. Nico, though, he's the real deal. A dreamer with a camera, always chasing the next big project. He's 27 now, scraping by as a freelance videographer while pouring every spare dime into his films. We're tight, or at least we were. Nico's the guy who'd crash on my couch after a bad breakup, and I'm the one who'd drag him to karaoke nights to belt out 80s power ballads until we lost our voices. Our hangout spot is this weird little rooftop garden above a laundromat in our neighborhood. A hidden gem with fairy lights, mismatched lawn chairs, and a view of the city's skyline. It's where we'd split cheap beers and talk about everything from his latest script to my failed attempts at growing basil. Nico's got this habit of twirling his vape pen like it's a baton, and he's always quoting obscure directors I've never heard of. Me? I'm more of a Jurassic Park rerun kind of guy. Whispers of the Void was Nico's baby. He'd been working on it for 2 years, crowdfunding it on Kickstarter and roping in half our friend group as extras. He described it as a meditative exploration of grief in a post-industrial wasteland. I nodded along, but secretly, I was worried it'd be one of those films where nothing happens for 2 hours except vibes. Still, I chipped in $50 to his campaign and promised to show up for the premiere no matter what. The premiere was at this artsy theater called the Luminary, a converted warehouse with exposed bricks and a lobby that smells like overpriced espresso. The place was packed. Maybe 80 people, a mix of Nico's film buddies, local hipsters, and a few randos who probably wandered in for the free popcorn. I showed up in my least-stained flannel, feeling out of place among the berets and statement scarves. Nico was buzzing, working the crowd in a velvet blazer that screamed, "I'm an auteur." He gave me a bear hug and said, "Sam, you're gonna love this. It's raw, you know?" I smiled, hoping he was right. The movie started and, oof, it was 90 minutes of long shots, empty factories, rusty pipes, a guy staring at a puddle for what felt like eternity. The main character, some brooding dude named Elias, mumbled about loss while ambient synths droned in the background. I tried to stay engaged, I swear. I shifted in my seat, checked my phone's battery, 47%, and counted the ceiling tiles, 32. By the time Elias found a mysterious locket, big plot twist, I guess, I was half asleep, my head lolling against the seat. When the credits rolled, the room erupted in applause. People were whistling, some even standing, like they'd just seen a masterpiece. I stayed seated, rubbing my eyes, not clapping. Not because I wanted to make a statement, just because I couldn't muster the energy to fake it. I figured it'd go unnoticed in the crowd. Wrong. Nico was up front, bowing and waving, but his eyes locked on me for a split second. His smile faltered, and I knew I was screwed. Afterward, everyone spilled into the lobby for a Q&A and cheap wine. I grabbed a plastic cup of Merlot, hoping to blend into the background, but Nico cornered me by a poster of his movie. "Yo, Sam," he said, his voice low. "What was that about? You didn't clap. You just sat there like you hated it." I froze, wine sloshing in my cup. "I didn't hate it," I lied, scrambling. "I was just tired, man. Long shift." He wasn't buying it. Tired? Everyone else was into it. You couldn't even pretend to care? That's my work, Sam. 2 years of my life. I felt my face heat up. "Look, I'm here, aren't I? I paid for a ticket, I showed up. It wasn't my thing. It's not personal." "Not personal?" He laughed, sharp and bitter, twirling that damn vape pen. "You're my best friend. I thought you'd get it or at least fake it for me. Sitting there stone-faced? That's rude, man. It's like you're saying I wasted my time." I bristled. "I didn't say that. I just didn't feel like clapping for something that put me to sleep." "You want me to lie?" "Maybe, yeah," he snapped. "Sometimes you suck it up for a friend. You think I love every burger you make at Turnip? I still tip you and say it's great. That hit below the belt." "Low blow, dude," I said, setting my cup down. "I'm not a professional clapper. I showed up to support you, not to stroke your ego." He shook his head, walking away. "Whatever, Sam. Thanks for the support. The rest of the night was brutal. Nico worked the room, all smiles for everyone else, but he avoided me like I was contagious. Our friend Priya, who'd been an extra in the film, pulled me aside and said, "He's really hurt. You know, that movie's his soul." I nodded, but inside, I was annoyed. Why is it my job to applaud a film I didn't like? I left early, stepping out into the chilly night, the theater's neon sign buzzing behind me. Since then, things are off. Nico hasn't texted, not even his usual "check out this Wes Anderson shot" memes. I saw he posted a story on Insta, him toasting with the cast, captioned "grateful for real supporters." Ouch. I tried messaging him yesterday, just a "hey, you good?" but he left me on read. Priya says he's venting to anyone who'll listen, calling me unsupportive and selfish. Meanwhile, I'm replaying that night, wondering if I should have just clapped and avoided this mess. I talked to my coworker Jake, who's seen every Marvel movie twice. He thinks I'm not wrong, but maybe could have been slicker about it. Like, clap lightly and bail before the Q&A. Easier said than done when you're fighting off a nap. My sister says I should have lied for Nico's sake, but that feels gross, like I'm patronizing him. Now I'm stuck. I could apologize, say I was out of it and loved the vibes or whatever, but that's not me. Or I could stand my ground and risk him icing me out for good. Reddit, I'm spinning here. AITA for not clapping at Nico's premiere because his movie bored me to death? Or is he making a big deal out of nothing? ITA for telling my friend her reality TV obsession was getting on my nerves. Only for her to call me a judgmental snob? I'm not trying to be a buzzkill, I swear. But I hit my limit. My friend Zara's been glued to reality TV, Bachelor Bay, Grill Kings, you name it, for months, and it's all she talks about. Last night, we were chilling at our usual dive bar, and I finally said her non-stop chatter about fake drama was annoying. I thought she'd laugh it off, but she got super defensive, saying I'm acting like I'm above her because I don't watch that trash. Now she's barely talking to me, and I'm wondering if I crossed a line. Was I too harsh? Or is she blowing this out of proportion? I'm Quinn, 25, and I work as a bike courier, zipping through the city with my trusty fixie and a playlist of lo-fi beats. Zara's been my best friend since we were 19, when we met at a community mural project painting a giant octopus on a rec center wall. She's 24, a nail tech at this neon-lit salon called Glitz and Grit, where she crafts tiny masterpieces on people's fingertips. Think glittery galaxies or mini cacti. Zara's got this big laugh that fills a room, and she's always got a wild story. Like the time she accidentally dyed a client's nails puke green and had to comp the whole session. Our go-to spot is the Crooked Tap, a bar wedged between a pawn shop and a laundromat. It's got sticky floors, a dartboard nobody's hit the bullseye on since 2009, and a jukebox that randomly plays Sweet Caroline at full blast. We usually grab a corner booth, split a basket of onion rings, and catch up over cheap lagers. I'm not big on small talk, so I love that Zara's always got something real to say. Well, until lately. These past few months, it's been nothing but reality TV. She'll rant about who got sent home on Bachelor Bay or how some chef on Grill Kings botched a lobster roll. At first, I nodded along, but it's like she's speaking a language I don't understand, and I'm stuck translating. I don't hate TV. I'll binge a gritty crime drama or old X-Files episodes when I'm wiped from a long shift, but reality shows? They feel like scripted chaos with extra yelling. Zara knows I'm not into them. She used to tease me about my nerdy taste in podcasts about urban planning or cryptids. So when she started quoting confessional scenes verbatim, I'd just smile and change the subject. Except she wouldn't let it go. Every hangout, every text thread, it's Quinn. You have to watch this clip of Mandy flipping a table. I tried watching one episode of Bachelor Bay to get it, but it was 40 minutes of fake crying and bad eyeliner. I bailed halfway through. Last night at the Crooked Tap, it all came to a head. We were 3 beers in, the bar humming with off-key karaoke from some guy butchering Bohemian Rhapsody. Zara was scrolling her phone, showing me memes from Grill Kings. A spatula with googly eyes captioned, "I'm done." I pushed her phone down and said, "Can we talk about literally anything else?" This reality TV stuff's driving me up the wall. Her face fell like I'd slapped her. What's that supposed to mean? She asked, setting her beer down hard enough to slosh foam. I shrugged, trying to keep it light. It's just, all you talk about is who's scheming on what show. It's kind of annoying. I miss when we talk about like actual stuff, your weird clients, my bike wrecks, whatever. She leaned back, arms crossed, her silver hoop earrings glinting under the bar's flickering lights. Wow, Quinn, tell me how you really feel. Sorry my life's not actual enough for you. I groaned. That's not what I meant. It's not your life. It's this fake drama you're obsessed with. Like, why do you care if some dude picks the wrong bachelorette? Why do you care about Bigfoot podcasts? She shot back. You don't see me calling your hobbies annoying. You're acting like I'm dumb for liking what I like. I felt my jaw tighten. I didn't say you're dumb. I just don't get why it's your whole personality now. We used to talk about everything, and now it's just reality TV 24/7. Her eyes narrowed. Maybe I'm stressed, okay? Work's been nuts, and this is how I unwind. But sure, judge me for it. Real classy, Quinn. Didn't know you were such a snob. That stung. Snob? Zara, I'm the opposite of a snob. I just want my friend back. Not a Bachelor Bay recap machine. She grabbed her bag, tossing a crumpled 10 on the table. Maybe find a friend who's up to your standards then. She stormed out, leaving me with half an onion ring and a sinking feeling in my gut. The next day was rough. No texts from Zara, no goofy selfies in our chat, just radio silence. I tried sending a meme, a grumpy cat saying, I'm sorry, but she left it on read. I scrolled through her Insta, and she'd posted a Grill Kings clip with the caption, My Happy Place. Subtle. I vented to my coworker Leo, who's seen every disaster unfold in my life. He said I was kind of blunt but thinks Zara's being dramatic. It's TV, not a blood oath, he said, tossing me a bike tube to patch. But maybe say sorry anyway. Girls like her hold grudges. I also talked to our mutual friend Hannah, who works at Zara's salon. She said Zara's been venting nonstop, saying I made her feel small for liking lowbrow stuff. Hannah thinks I should have been gentler, like, ease her out of the TV talk, instead of calling it annoying. Easier said than done when I'm dodging cars on my bike all day and just want a real conversation at night. Now I'm stuck. Part of me wants to apologize, maybe offer to watch an episode with her to smooth things over, but that feels like caving. I don't think I'm wrong for being honest. Friends should be able to say what's bugging them, right? But I hate this rift. Zara's not just some rando. She's the one who showed up with soup when I had the flu, who painted my bike helmet with tiny stars because I said it looked boring. Losing her over something this dumb feels wrong, but I also don't want to fake interest in shows I can't stand. I keep replaying last night, wondering if I could have worded it better. Maybe annoying was too strong, but I was tired, and it slipped out. The Crooked Taps jukebox was screaming, and I just wanted us to laugh like we used to. Now I'm wondering if I'm the jerk everyone's whispering about in the bar's group chat. Reddit, help me out here. AITA for telling Zara her reality TV obsession was annoying? Or is she overreacting by shutting me out?